Yeah, I mean, first of all, like I spent a lot of time here. I love Indianapolis. I'm a Midwest girl. I enjoy spending time here. A lot of people like to get away from the cold. I don't really mind it as much, and also like I have every resource I need. I can be on this court every single day. I can be in the weight room downstairs. Obviously, I have the athletic training staff, and then I have a lot of my own personal stuff in the city that I'm able to do, and people have to have around. And then the pickup part of it, I mean, honestly, shout out to those guys. A lot of those guys are like part-time workers for the Fever and put in a lot of time. They really feel like full-time employees, but they're paid as part-time employees. And you know, a lot of former college hoopers or some that have even played pro overseas that are back and are looking for runs as well, and just very selfless people. And a lot of the time people play pickup and they're playing to a score. Like, we kind of changed it up to make it a little bit more game-like, where we're playing like time. So kind of playing like to the first media timeout, or like a 6-minute game, a little bit more than a media timeout. So you can kind of feel I mean, obviously there's only so much you can do to replicate a real game. You're never going to fully get that, but doing everything we can to kind of replicate that. And then, you know, we're playing like a certain amount of that. And then, you know, tracking like, you know, obviously there's such great technology, like heart rates wise, and, you know, a chip that can track like your accelerations and things like that. So I can kind of see that and then compare that to game data that we've had for my rookie year, and then the few games that I did play in my second year. And then even tracking that when I was at USA, it gives me a really good gauge of like, I'm not guessing, like I'm understanding like what the data is telling me, you know, acceleration wise. And then I can kind of relate that to how my body's feeling, and then go from day to day of, you know, do I want my load to be heavier? Do I want it to be a little bit lighter? Do I want it moderate? And then you can kind of stack those days from there. So really more than anything, like using data to kind of build my workouts and build my weeks, I think has been really helpful.
Okay, when it comes to Kelsey, a player like that who is so selfless, doesn't ask for anything, but will give everything, what perspective have you gained being a teammate of hers? Try to win a championship and deliver on those types of things.
I mean, obviously somebody that's been here, I think she's going into her 9th year with this franchise, and she's seen every bit of good, bad, you know, not as good, whatever it's been, and she's given a lot of herself. And even last year, like, I mean, she's literally out there until her legs didn't work anymore, and I think that's like a great kind of sums up everything that she's given to this organization. But more than anything, like, everybody ever knows that she's a tremendous basketball player, but like she's really cool people and just very down to earth and selfless and fun to be around, and really cares about people. And I think that speaks to like why she continues to sign back here, is like she enjoys the people that are here, and she also feels loved and cared for, and, you know, people are here to serve her as well, but she does it in return too. So just really fortunate that she's back here. I know I've said this before, but she makes my job a lot easier when you have somebody in the backcourt like that. I mean, I don't think there's nobody better in the league for me to play with, so just really fortunate and lucky.
Say your campus.
No. Hi. Good, how are you doing?
If you could tell me if this is not the case, please let me know. But being able to sitting out as long as you did last year, was it also like a mental break for you? You didn't have scrums. You could have said no to like brand obligations because you had a built-in excuse. So was there like a component of a mental break?
Yes, in a way, but obviously like that was not what I wanted. I mean, I would sign up to do media every single day to be able to play and put my jersey on, and you know, this is part of the job, is getting to talk to you guys every day, and you all do a tremendous job as well. So I know it's part of the responsibility of what I get to do. I mean, there's always cameras in my face, so I'm pretty used to it at this point. But in a way, it was a little bit of a mental break. But at the same time, injury is really mentally taxing as well. Like, people don't always realize that, especially when you're at the point of trying to come back and trying to get over the hump of like trusting your body. That's the hardest part, is like you've done everything you can, you know, rehab wise, and to get back on the court, and then it's like the mental block of trusting your body and knowing you put the work in. So I feel like it's a little more mentally exhausting from that standpoint. Not you guys though. Yeah.
We're gonna jump to the other side of Chloe. Give that side some FaceTime.
I don't know if you guys have heard anything I've said, but
No. Hurry up.
Chloe, Steph has talked about creating depth in the backcourt, especially, you know, with your injuries last year, Kelsey going until the wheels fell off. Just what do you think about, you know, having Ty and Raven kind of backing up in the backcourt? And she also talked about kind of you playing off the ball a little bit, get a little bit of on-court rest. Just what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be something like that's what you have training camp for, and that's what you have the preseason games for, is to try different lineups and to try different people. And to give the people that are fighting for roster spots a chance to go out there and compete and perform. Like, I'm not going to go out and play 30 minutes on Saturday. That's just not going to be the case. That's not what it's about. It's, obviously I'm going to go out there and compete as hard as I can, but that's not what we need to do. And I think a little bit of off the ball stuff. Like, I think mostly on dead balls, like I think I'm the best transition player in the league. That's where I thrive. Everybody knows that's my game. So, getting the ball off of rebound or in transition, like that's probably when I'm going to be the primary ball handler more than anything. And then, getting off the ball a little bit and catching your breath. Like, it is exhausting bringing the ball up 94 feet versus pressure every single time. So we certainly need to find somebody that can handle the ball a little bit and, give me a little bit of a break. And I think Raven and Ty and even other people through camp, Tori's done a great job. And, Kels does it a little bit. And even I think our 4s and 5s can do that. You saw AB do that a lot last year when we were really in trouble injury-wise. So I think there's a lot of different things that can give us a lot of different looks and just makes us harder to guard more than anything.
Caitlin, back here. When you look around, you see all the cameras, the microphones, the sellout crowds. How much gratitude do you have for just being in this space right now, these fans, and just this moment?
I mean, a lot. I'm just so thankful, and I think that was a great thing for me to realize, especially when I was hurt. And I wouldn't say that was something I worried about, but obviously people love you for the product you put on the floor, and hopefully they love you for the person that you are too, and the way you continue to show up, the way you're a teammate, and the way you're a leader, and the way you love the fans. And so when I was hurt, I felt like that was something that was really humbling for me, and something that I was super, super grateful for is, when I showed up to a game and I took as much time as I could to sign an autograph. That might be the only bad thing about this year is I'm not going to have as much time to sign autographs when I'm preparing to actually play a game. So I'll still do my best that I can every single time we play, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make all the rounds around the arena. But I think that was the thing is all these young kids and these young boys, young girls, and even older fans as well, they're still showing up and screaming and cheering. And that's one, because obviously they love this team and they love all the players on this team, but two, they don't really care how many points I score. They just, hopefully they love me as a person and obviously love me as a player. And even if I'm not out there being able to throw crazy passes or hit a long shot, they can still find a lot of joy in showing up and, getting to see somebody they idolize, and that can give them a little bit of hope. So I think that was probably the best thing for me is a realization of, it's not all about the way you perform every single day. And, there's going to be some tough games this year. It's, unrealistic to expect myself to perform for 44 games. There's going to be some games where you just don't make shots, and just reminding myself of that.
We're going to wrap up with Chris.
Okay.
Dumb questions, that's all I do.
Okay.
You're so good in the commercials.
Yeah.
Granted, you're playing the part of yourself mostly.
Yeah.
Have you had acting lessons and acting? What's your process?
I have not had acting lessons, but I think I've definitely gotten more comfortable. Obviously, I've done a few of them now. And the directors and, obviously a lot of these brands that I work with, I've been with for quite some time now, 2 to 3 to 4 years. So they make it pretty easy on me. I've shot a lot of stuff over the course of this off season, so I got some cool stuff coming. I think you guys will like it, but I think especially when the commercials and the spots or whatever we're making is tailored to my personality, I think that's what makes it fun and people like it. But I love hearing when fans come up to me and they're like, we like this, we like that, and it makes it fun too. My favorite? I can't pick a favorite. They're all amazing.